Hello everyone, today we'll share with you my first impressions of the Paul Rubens extra large oil pastel sticks that the company Paul Rubens kindly sent me. The label on the packaging says that they're the higher version of the Paul Rubens Pastels and they're king size. It also says it's a product for ages 14 and up. Now the box is really pretty with the Paul Rubens logo on it. It's hard and it's nice and compact. There's a little magnet that keeps it closed. And inside you will find 12 extra large sticks. So on them they say oil paint, but they really are oil pastels. They're not oil sticks. They are wrapped with a paper that can be partially unwrapped in small sections, which is great because they're kind of pre-cut. So as you use up the stick, you can unwrap it a little bit at a time and somewhat keep your fingers and your hands clean. Each stick has the color name as well as the pigments and the opacity and the light fastness. At first glance, they seem nice and soft. This stick wrote on my hand really easily. I really like how they are packaged in those plastic tubes. It keeps them nice and protected. There are several sets of 12 colors. This set has a gold yellow, a bright yellow, and you feel free to pause the video to check out the pigment numbers and all the information you need, like the light fastness and the opacity. There's a Chinese orange, a ruby red, a coral, a Parma violet, an Indian blue, a cobalt blue, moss green, permanent green light, pine green, and raw sienna. And that's the B set. There's an A set, a B set, and a set of all blues. In my left hand is a normal stick of Paul Rubens oil pastels compared to the extra large. And one extra large stick is supposed to be the equivalent of 7 of the regular size. It's hard to tell just on the video like that, but comparing the length and then the diameter, I wouldn't be surprised really. So I swatched them all, not necessarily to look at the colors, just because what you see on the stick is really what you see on the paper. The reason why I did swatches is because I wanted to see how soft they are and how well they spread. Also how opaque they are and how they blend with a Q-tip, how they blend with a solvent. I just wanted to test them out before I started drawing with them. They look very nice. They're nice and soft. The lighter green is a little bit more gummy, which is often the case with the greens with oil pastels. I've noticed with quite a few brands. The darker one doesn't do that, and the moss green doesn't do that either. But really, it's not too bad with the lighter green. It's trust me, I've seen way worse than that. So I'm pretty happy with all these colors so far. Now, one color that is not in the set, and I think it's a shame, is a white. I think the white should be in every set, no matter what, because it's used a lot with oil pastels, and so I used a smaller stick instead. The big sticks are really nice because they cover a lot of surface in a short amount of time. Considering that it's hard to do details with oil pastels to start with, you usually need to use a larger format. But then when you use a larger format, then you also have to apply a lot of pastels on the background. So with a larger stick, it makes the work a lot easier. So I'm using a Q-tip to blend the colors together, and it's working very, very well. The pastels are thick and really soft. I will not say they are soft as Sennelier. You can't compare Sennelier with anything really. They're the softest of the softest. But these are really nice. But I know that I probably will be limited unless I blend them a lot. I will probably be limited in the amount of layers that I use because they are quite thick. But we shall see. Now I did that sky pretty fast just because of the thickness and the smoothness of those pastels. It's quite enjoyable. The pigmentation is really nice as well. That those blues, the dark blues, they're very strong. So for my little island there, it's called Mokoli'i, or Chinaman's Hat. It's a small island off the shore of Oahu, the windward side. It's a very beautiful place with turquoise water. That little island you can swim to or even walk to, I believe, at low tide. You can kayak to it and you can hike up all the way to the top. It's very green, has a lot of trees. And what I really like about this little island is two little palm trees, or they look little because they're in the distance, but there's two palm trees sticking out, and you'll see at the end. I'll add those with colored pencils because they're very, very fine, and I will not be able to do that with oil pastels, even with a smaller stick. So the first thing I did was to roughly blocking the colors all over the place, and that's going to be my first layer. Like I said earlier, it's very hard to do very detailed drawings with oil pastels, especially I'm given a specific kind of oil pastels to review right now, and they're very, very soft. If I was just drawing without paying attention to the brand of pastels that I'm using, I would have started with pastels that are not as soft so that I could have added more layers on top and possibly be more detailed. That said, using softer pastels is a lot of fun too because you can enjoy being looser, not worrying about the details, and just have fun with the process. So once my first layer was done, I used a Q-tip again to blend it together and cover the whole paper, and so that you can't see the paper underneath. And then after that, I just added some patches of colors, just little dots and dashes and kind of random scribbling, still respecting the color patterns that I saw on the photo. It's more of an impressionistic style rather than drawing all the leaves, all the trees, all the rocks. You just give an impression of what you see by drawing the shapes and the colors where you see them. So I mainly used the jumbo pastels as well as the Paul Rubens regular size pastels. But there are a few colors that I couldn't find that I wanted to use, so I used another brand. And towards the end, because I had such a thick layer already and I wanted to add some highlights here and there, then I used my softest pastels, which are the sennelier ones. And that's basically the only way that I use the sennelier ones. I've seen artists using the senneliers, just those, and make beautiful paintings. I haven't tried that yet, but for this painting they came in handy so that I could add my little final highlights. But I must say that the extra large pastels were quite handy too. I was able to add some pretty nice highlights in some areas and some pretty fine details. I was surprised. I guess it all comes to how you use them and what your style is. But I think they're really fun. I tried using colored pencils. I've used colored pencils in the past to add fine details, but I had a hard time with this one because the layers were way too thick. So it basically cut into the pastels down to the paper, and the pigment of the pencil wouldn't really transfer onto the paper. So pencils didn't work very well on this one. But yeah, all in all, I really like them. My only complaint is that there was no white in this set. That's too bad. That's really too bad. It should be like a set of 12 colors plus a white. That would have been perfect. That said, you can always buy the white separately. They are sold in 2 packs of whites or 2 packs of blacks. For the black, I also used a smaller Paul Rubens pastel. I think the big one would have been nice, but it's not necessary. But I think it would have worked well with this painting. So since now I'm just rambling, I think I'll say goodbye now. Thank you very much, Paul Rubens, for sending me these pastels. They're lovely. I really like them. If you're interested, I will leave a link in the video description down below with a discount code. I believe it's for a limited amount of time, so hurry up if you're interested. I hope you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you all for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye.